Timeline full of mystery and frustration. Some say it doesn't even add up. Krystal Anderson was last seen here on August 20th and outside of her home in South Carolina. She was reported missing by her family 3 days later on the 23rd. Krystal and her boyfriend Tony Berry were both listed in the national database as missing, and 6 days later, on August 29th, is when they came here at News 12 to do an interview. They were saying how law enforcement was not helping them. And 14 days later, on September 6th, Berry walked into the Aiken County Sheriff's office to let them know he indeed was not missing, and was allowed to walk out after being questioned.
So it's kind of hard for me to believe that we are taught to grow up in this world to, find a spouse, fall in love, have children, raise those children, and live life as if it's the best thing going this side of heaven, right? But unfortunately for some people, lurking in the lashes of love, people are out here eyeballing, seeking whom they can devour and kill, steal, and destroy, all in the name of love sometimes, and in the name of the fact that maybe they can't love you no more, and taking people's lives. So there's been an update. A missing South Carolina woman's boyfriend disappearance. So we will be talking about this guy right here. His name is Tony Berry, and I have some detailed receipts that I'm going to show you toward the end of this video, where he claimed he doesn't have social media, and he didn't do this to his girlfriend, alleged girlfriend, because when someone can take your life, I'm not too sure if they were your boyfriend or not. So I say alleged in these instances here. I'm not too sure. And I know people can just snap. But again, if love was in place, real love. I know the church like to say this unconditional love, but I know a love of the Bible where the Most High God, y'all, was basically like Moses. I love him. Yeah, I love the children of Israel. That's why I'm rocking with them so hard, Moses. But Moses, you tell them to hearken unto my voice this day. Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. Tell them to hearken unto my voice this day. They'll be blessed. And if they don't obey me and don't listen to my voice, then you tell them I said they shall be cursed. It's their choice, actually. Yeah, I love them, Moses, but I'm tired of these people serving other gods and doing other things. So my love is conditional right now. Even though I love my children of Israel and the 12 tribes of Jacob, let me tell you something, Moses. I don't love them that much where I won't have a problem cursing them if they don't obey me. Same thing with a parent. Thank you for watching my video. You're tuned into ReligionWinked TV. I ask you to subscribe, like, share, comment, y'all. We love our children, but if you ain't in here at 12 o'clock, baby, if you ain't going to school, if you ain't making your bed, cleaning your room, and doing what you're supposed to do as a child, right? Then we address it accordingly. And everybody's parenting skills, styles of discipline is different, right? So there is some unconditional love. And when a man or a woman can take their spouse's life, that to me, it is, I don't know. It's unconditional to me. Let me just be clear. There's no condition in it where we say, not even that, no matter what happens to you or me or our relationship, right? One of the conditions I have is that I will never kill you. I will never take your life. Yeah, it may hurt me to see you with somebody else, but I have a condition of my love right now, and that is I will never do anything to hurt you. So I always try to tell you and show you instances where maybe the church taught us wrong about love, and this free flowing love through the lashes of people lurking, seeking whom they can devour, kill, steal, and destroy in the disguise of love until they can't get their way anymore, or until you piss them off, or until you just downright don't want to be with their demonic ass anymore. Then their love changes. and it's no longer unconditional. And it's the same way with the church. You could be rocking with the church, rocking with Jesus, rocking with the saints thereof, and then when you wake up and realize, or maybe, whoa, this ain't the kind of love I want, when pastors in church getting somebody's 14-year-old daughter pregnant. This isn't the love I want, when they're turning out little boys. Oh, God have mercy today. Right up underneath your nose in the predominantly black church. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, to each his own, and I'm not here to judge what you do. All right, some of y'all rather be loved than judged, and actually, it should be the other way around. We should be judging these spirits and these people we say that love us and that we take on the task of loving, okay? Because it's hard to love a demon, let me tell you. And I may be speaking from experiences, but my boyfriend's exes or whatever haven't been that bad, you know what I'm saying? But bad enough that I'm not with them anymore, because I understand what real love is. It's effort. It's toleration. To me, it's conditional, because you'll have that one condition, as I said earlier, that you will never kill me, steal me, or destroy me in the midst of trying to love me. All right? So, with that being said, let's go ahead and listen to some of this article here from News 19. Author is Peyton Lewis, and this was published on September 29th, 2022 at around 12:44. Looks like EDT time, AM EDT. All right, let's see.
Tonight, an arrest has been made in connection with the disappearance of a Columbia woman who vanished in Aiken County. Peyton Lewis is live in studio tonight with those late-breaking details. Peyton?
JR, law enforcement in Aiken County named a suspect today in the disappearance of Krystal Anderson. As you just mentioned, they've already made an arrest. 30-year-old Krystal Anderson is a mother of 4 living in Wagner with her 49-year-old boyfriend, Tony Berry. Krystal was last seen by her family and friends on August 20th and was reported missing 3 days later. Then her boyfriend was reported missing shortly after. After research and interviews, law enforcement named Berry as a suspect in Krystal's disappearance today. He was arrested earlier tonight. Berry has been charged with 1 count of kidnapping, but Krystal's sister says this isn't the end.
I gotta tell my mom something. I almost wish I didn't even tell her he was captured, because now her question is, where's her baby? Now she keeps asking me where's she at, and I don't know what to tell her.
As the family continues their search, they ask that anyone with tips or information about where Krystal is to come forward and contact law enforcement. And take a good look at this photo behind me here. This is Krystal Anderson. Her family asks that if you see her, to call law enforcement immediately. Reporting live in the studio, Peyton Lewis, News 19 WLTX.
Some of that, the phone number for the sheriff's office, if you guys want to go ahead and get this number down, the Aiken County Sheriff's Office phone number is 1-803-642-1761. Again, Aiken County Sheriff's Office phone number is 1-803-642-1761. People still believe that she may be alive. Her family still have hope. Aiken County, South Carolina. Law enforcement in Aiken County named the suspect Wednesday in the disappearance of Krystal Anderson and made an arrest on the same day. 30-year-old Krystal Anderson is a mother of 4 living in Wagner with her 49-year-old boyfriend, alleged boyfriend, Tony Berry. Now, I'm going to go ahead and insert a text or a post that Tony Berry made through his son's Darius Berry's, I believe it was a Facebook account, and he's going to make reference that he doesn't have any social medias and he don't do that and XYZ, right? Alright, so he says, well, hey everybody, those that know me, know me, Shadira is slandering me and my family name. Why would you say those things about people when you don't know what you're talking about? You don't know a lot about my sister. My sister helped me with the kids when I asked her. She even helped me when your mother called DSS on Krystal and the kids was taken from her. My sister put her neck on the line and accepted them when you wouldn't. She don't have anything to do with what's going on, and neither do I. Why would you do that to a person? Do you know me and Krystal and the kids were down there Saturday because Krystal wanted OxyContin perks? And some guy out there had some, so that's why we were out there? Did you know we had just left Aiken from getting another batch? My sister is a good person, and you're dragging her name through the mud. Cameron and Leah have stayed weeks with my sister, almost an entire summer. I'm not wanted for anything. Why can't I go to my sister's house? Especially when I have things to do when your sister wasn't home. Those kids rode the bus Monday, Shadira, and we stayed home. But they didn't go to school on Tuesday. They wasn't even at the bus stop. After you called, I then reported her missing, but the kids was saying so much other stuff that we all thought she was out with someone else. So I had a few things to do, so I stopped at my son's house. They wanted me to come in and speak to him. Cameron said because he didn't see me in a while. My son is my son, I guess. Krystal was last seen by her family and friends on August 20th and was reported missing 3 days later on August 23rd. Now, her boyfriend was reported missing shortly after that. August 20th, she's known to come home to her children at a certain time. Actually, her children, they said they heard their mom scream. And then the boyfriend came back into the house allegedly without her. And no one has seen her ever since August 20th, right? That should have been the immediate time to call law enforcement and get them involved. One thing with black people, I think we put too much in the hands of Jesus and in the hands of prayer and in the hands of the pastor. If that's the case, I'm not sure here. Instead of actually, hey, something happened to my daughter, and I need those that are skilled in investigating, and although they're not always as quick as we are or should be when it comes to looking for our loved ones and relatives, but I think black people, 3 days is way too long for a mother to be missing from her children, all right, without getting the authorities involved. If we can just take that from this lesson right here, and no one should have to lose their life in order for us to learn a lesson. But again, the way this world is, God is showing us things all around us, but for some reason we choose to have dim eyes and deaf ears, blind eyes and deaf ears still. So this woman had went missing, was missing for 3 days. Now Tony Berry was found in West Columbia, but law enforcement did not specify how he was located. And here we go with the quote from Krystal's sister, Shadira Smothers, quote, "I've got to tell my mom something, and I almost wish I didn't have to tell her he was captured, because now her question is, where is her baby? Where is she at? I don't know. I don't know what to tell her," Smothers said through tears. As the family continues in their search, they ask us anyone with tips or information about the whereabouts of Krystal Anderson, please come forward and contact law enforcement as soon as possible. They also ask for continued prayers and positive thoughts as they work to bring their sister, daughter, mother, and friend home safely. Again, you can contact law enforcement by 1-803-642-1761. If you have a missing loved one, do not go to this police department. Aiken County Sheriff's Office. All right. Now, I just gave you that number, but at the time of the investigation, the family thought that they weren't doing anything. They actually thought that they had the suspect in hand, kind of like the Maya Marcano case where the family and the police was talking to her assailant and they let him go, only for her to be found dead a couple of days later. They're saying the police department and people of authority that can obtain people and, put them in citizens arrest and or actual police arrest are letting these criminals go. And basically, if she wasn't dead or is not dead at this time, we don't want to put death on anybody, but presumably if she's dead now, if she wasn't dead at the time they had him in custody, maybe she'd still be alive. So the sister is saying, hey, don't go to this police department for help. Why is my missing sister Krystal Anderson not on the news? Why is there no Ashanti alert? And we keep being told by this police department that all we can do is be patient, okay? Myself, along with family and friends, have been riding around for hours looking for my sister and following up and calling any new leads. The kids were dropped off to us by Tony Berry's sister, Denise Berry, who is being uncooperative. So now there's a person being uncooperative early on in this investigation. Darius Berry also watched the kids while they were missing yesterday. But no one is giving us information about Tony or my sister's whereabouts. We know Tony is switching cars between a black BMW, a white Cadillac, and a blue van that her sister was also driving. And I was going to say, looking at his picture and looking at this young woman and the age difference, he had to be in some kind of money or activities where money is coming in, switching cars. He may be a business owner. I don't know. But he looks a little rough around the edges. And some young women with 4 children, a man helping her take care of them, whether they're in love with this person or not, they will stay the course and stay the distance just because they get to drive these cars, they get to have the money, they get to be that number one girl. And sometimes that's not always good in a relationship, and it doesn't always end up good for certain people on the receiving end of domestic violence, right? Is what I'm trying to say. And I'm not saying that's her case. She could have loved this man wholeheartedly because of what he did for her and her children and how he may have helped him. But in his mind, hey, once you become social media famous or once people start noticing you other than that person or Tony Berry, it becomes a problem with some people and they don't know how to control their jealousy, right? So it goes on to say here, basically, we know Tony is switching BMWs to white Cadillacs to blue vans that her sister was also driving. Please continue to help us and please continue to keep us in prayer. And if anyone has any updates, please contact us or the police. And now she just told you don't F with that police department, so I don't really know what police department you're going to call at this time, other than the number I gave you is 1-803-642-1761, right? So, if you know anywhere about her whereabouts, have you seen this woman? If Tony Berry may have told you something, please contact the police in this family via Facebook, IG, and I wouldn't know any other way to do it, right? Now, time is racing, she says. Please help us bring Krystal back home safely to her family, kids, and friends. With the prayer emoji sign. She has been missing since Saturday, and we believe she is being held against her will. And again, if that was the same case with Maya McConnell, if y'all remember that story. If not, I will link her story down below this video. Maya's family knew the suspect. He was right there talking to the family. He was right there talking to the police. At this time, she may have still been alive because she wasn't found until a couple of days later, that Monday, I believe. I believe it was on a Saturday. They were all in this area of the dorm in college where she worked, and I believe they were talking, and they ended up letting this man go. And then Maya comes up, not only missing but deceased. So she's been missing since Saturday, and we believe she is being held against her will by her on again, off again boyfriend, Tony Berry, who cannot be reached and will not reach out to us. He may be in Columbia. And then it goes on to tell Wilson and Elko and South Carolina and the surrounding areas. All right. So that's that post from the sister. And maybe if police would start to listen to bloggers and social media influencers and those that have a following and all these groups on these sites, right? Because there'd be a lot of information that's overlooked by the news media. And once again, they were concerned about this young lady not being on the news. And we see it all too often where a lot of young white women get all the coverage they can, movies made out of their stories and everything. But these young black women who are coming up missing barely get Facebook coverage, YouTube coverage, IG coverage, let alone national coverage. And I do notice that Dateline is feeling the heat a little bit, and they've been trying to jump out in the waters and cover these stories, but they're not reporting most information correctly, accurately. So you have to be mindful of these mainstream medias even covering the story, because they're not going to give you full detail.
The family of a Midlands woman pleading for answers tonight after she went missing from her Aiken County home. Krystal Anderson, a Columbia native, disappeared 2 weeks ago on August 20th. As the investigation continues, they're hoping the public can help bring her home safely. The family of a Midlands woman pleading for answers tonight after she went missing from her Aiken County home. Krystal Anderson, a Columbia native, disappeared 2 weeks ago on August 20th. As the investigation continues, they're hoping the public can help bring her home safely.
A plea for answers.
You need to speak up.
The family of Krystal Anderson says her disappearance has been an emotional roller coaster as the days searching turned to weeks. Shadira Smothers is her sister.
We are going to bring Krystal home, and her story is going to be a testimony to help other women.
On Saturday, they gathered in prayer, lighting candles for the Columbia mother of four and C.A. Johnson High School graduate.
She was very responsible. She was a good mother, a good friend to those who know her.
They say Anderson had only recently moved to Aiken County when she disappeared from her Wagner home on August 20th. Shonja Cleveland is a private investigator.
We want everyone to know from Columbia to Wagner. And we've gotten some very good leads to keep those leads coming.
News 19 reached out to the Aiken County Sheriff's Office, which is leading the investigation, for more details. The office said in a statement, "We cannot confirm anything at this time. We are actively working this case and all leads."
This is why it's so important that if anyone knows anything, to say something.